Hey, good evening, Let's Talk family. And tonight we have a nice interview, conversation with songwriter, singer Caleya Black. And what's funny is that she is being interviewed by two people. So she's getting bombarded from both angles. And we're gonna just have a conversation because as well as she's not only a songwriter and a singer, she is King Atterbury and myself's cousin. So this should be interesting, you guys. But anyway,
Yeah.
good evening, Clea.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
What's going on?
You know, just maintaining.
Okay,
Maintaining.
so tell us about you, where you grew up at, and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'm Jersey girl, born and raised from Newark, New Jersey. I only child, grew up in the church, so I had like the classic R&B story. I grew up singing in the choir and playing in the church and things like that. So parents are ministers, and I grew up around my grandmother who was the one that kind of exposed me to music at a young age. So she would have card games at her house. I don't know if y'all know about how they used to do stuff like that back in the day. She would host the card games, and then she would have the music on the record player. And that's really where I got my exposure.
Okay.
So, and
So
then from there it went, rest is
so
history.
you were singing around the grown folks, as we
I
would
sure,
say.
uh-huh.
And the
And grown
grown
folks
folks was
business.
yeah, grown folks business. Yeah, you couldn't get in their conversation, so you had to sing your way to get their attention, you know what I mean? Um so let's talk about the voice. When did you feel it was time that your voice had matured enough to be able to record, or somebody told you? Were you shocked? Explain that experience.
So again, starting in church, I feel like that was a good foundation because what that does is that gives you, it's almost like a practice ground, and it gives you the confidence to perform and do things in front of people. So from there, I really didn't start pursuing a career until I was in college. So that was like my first time in the music studio, and I actually wanted to major in music in college, but my parents was
Oh
like,
wow.
no. They said, no, no, don't do that. So so the agreement was I get my degree and do everything I need to do in college, and then I'll go for music and push. But I kind of wish I would have started when I really wanted to, which was like much earlier, because who knows where I could have been. But I got it, But anyway, that is where it started. But I always had a love for music. I always felt like that's what I always had a pull, felt a pull towards music.
Mhm.
So, what was your first song you recorded and heard your voice? How did I need you to give us, paint that picture for us? Like when you heard your voice recorded, like
Hmm.
was it like a wow moment?
So I was one of those people that I would record myself at home even when I was younger. So
Mhm.
I would be playing and singing music. So I always knew I could sing, but as far as in like on a professional level in the studio, um, it was kind of surreal being in the studio. I actually wrote 3 songs on the spot while I was there, and I
Mhm.
recorded those 3 songs that in one day. uh, I'll go back and listen to it. I cringe a little bit because sometimes when you when you hear a lot of your earlier stuff, or like even as a poet, or you read some of your earlier stuff, you be like, oh, I could have came a little better than that.
Yeah.
So, but well, that was like what early 2000s. So,
Mhm.
but I've definitely grown since then. But it was definitely a milestone for me.
So you making your transition into recorded music, and now you learning the business. How explain that? I mean, you said explain the business. Did you
The
know how cutthroat it was, or
You learn as you go. And that's the unfortunate part is a lot of people un- they don't realize how cutthroat it is until it's cutting your throat, so
mm,
to speak.
Oh wow.
um and I've had some doozies, some experiences, things that will make you say, you know what, I ain't gonna do this no more. It's this. It could be discouraging, when especially when there's a lot of people out there that like to prey on younger artists or independent artists, especially now. It's a lot of snakes out there, but that's why you have to do your due diligence. You read, you rely on, you tap at people that's in the industry that, you know what I mean, like you can ask for advice. And I have done that. Like I have people that go to me like, hey, does this sound right? Like for example, I had somebody hit me up in an email. They said they were from Epic Records or one of the major record labels, and they said, "Oh, you want to come and open for the Migos? You pay me $5,000 to come open for the Migos, and then I'll fly you out um, to perform." And when you're really hungry for something, and you really like when you dream about doing something for so long, sometimes your common sense leaves you. So I didn't think like, why did this don't make sense? Why would they fly me out, pay my hotel, pay my airfare, but then they charging me to perform? And number one, Migos is not even my audience. So if they really knew who I was, they would know that I wouldn't be a good opener for the Migos anyway. Long story short, I asked one of my industry friends, I'm like, does this sound right to you? I like deep down, I knew it didn't sound right, but I wanted it to be true because it's something I wanted, I've been wanting to do for so long. But just things like that is what people do. And so
Wow.
even now, I still get like crazy emails. I'm from this label. I'm from that label. And but no, they're not. They ain't reaching out. They're not reaching out. PSA: nobody's reaching out to your Gmail from a record label. Just trash the emails.
If they want to get in touch, you don't know how to get in touch
They'll
with you
they'll
right
know
there
how to
on the
get in
spot,
touch
right?
with you. They'll know how to get in
Yeah.
touch with you. So
So
it's just
let
little things like that have happened that teach you lessons, and then things that I can share with somebody else to keep them from, stumbling in the same way.
so now into the song that I told you caught my ear.
Uh-huh.
Oh, innocent. Oh my
Innocent.
goodness.
Yes, sir.
That song, explain that song to the audience. I
Well,
believe that when they hear it, they'll think it's self-explanatory.
uh-huh.
Because we do play innocent when we know we done messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, explain the writing, the thought process, and all that.
So innocent. I'm just going to tell you the opening lyrics. The opening lyrics is, "I went through your phone while you were sleeping," and so that's how the song starts. So you can imagine, that's the setup. But I feel like Innocent is a relatable song because in relationship, no matter how secure you are or you think you are or how good you think your relationship is, there's always sometimes like that little voice in your head is saying something ain't right, and then there is always sometimes that temptation to see and check yourself to see, like, what are they doing, when your trust is broken in your relationship, you're liable to start going through phones, start going through DMs. And so I feel like a lot of people have been there. They may not admit it, but a lot of people have been there. And I feel like that song is doing well because of that, because people can identify with that scenario, whether you're on the guilty side or the side of the person that's been, offended, so to speak. Either way,
So
you can relate.
so let me ask you in the business who have you worked with? I know we talked about Tank, and I know that was how was that experience working with Tank?
Um, so Tank and Mario, they were gracious enough to be hosts for mixtapes, and so I submitted to be a part of that, and I was selected as well for that. So that was a great experience, and that was um an honor because Tank, he's R&B, Mr. R&B right there. But other than that, I did get a placement for songwriting on a series. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. It's called Fifth Ward. It was featuring Maya, singer Maya, Carl
Hmm.
Anthony Payne from Martin, and one of my songs actually got placed in that. So that was cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Word.
Um, I've been on Hot 97, a Hot 97 mixtape. Right now, I'm a part of a collective called Bad Kids, and that collective is headed up by what 9-time Grammy winner right now, Malik Youssef. Malik Youssef was an integral part in Kanye's Donda,
Hmm.
so I am currently working with his collective right now. So,
Have you we're doing all this in the business,
mhm.
meeting people. Have you had a fan moment or like, yo, I gotta stay business wise. I gotta be, I ain't nobody's fan. I gotta,
I have a couple have a couple of fan moments, but the thing is like you fan out, but you fan out inside because you can't fan out on the outside because then like you liable to get the strong arm. Like nah, you can't be over here. But I will say I love Smokey Robinson. When I say I love Smokey Robinson to the point where I've been to like 3 or 4 of his shows, and I went so far as to have a T-shirt made that says "I want to sing with Smokey." And my crazy behind during the concert is standing up for most of the show, hoping hoping that he can see my shirt. Like he looked at, I know he saw it. I know he saw. He looked at me a couple of times, but that it didn't work out, not yet. But I'm praying y'all put some energy out for me that I can meet Smokey before the
Well,
good Lord call him home.
what's your favorite Smokey song?
Ooh, baby, baby.
Mm. So he
That's
so out of all the artists that are living, he's the one.
he he is the one that I admire Smokey number one for his songwriting. We know he was Motown Records for uh, during the early years. Secondly, Smokey's tone is so unique, and it's almost like it's poignant. Like it's soft, but it kind of it's like that particular song that I named. It's like you can feel the pain in his singing. So like I really connect with artists like that, where I can like I like to feel stuff when I'm hearing. Like I don't like just like people to just be singing just for the sake of it. Like I want to be moved.
Yeah, I noticed that you got some Motown uh spirit in you. You covered Aretha Franklin song.
Uh huh.
How
That's a
was that? Was that
there's
a
a
challenge or that was something you really wanted to do?
which one you're talking about? Ain't no way.
Yes.
There's a story behind that. So my godfather, um, he was the one that kind of pushed me as far as when he found out I had a voice. He was the one that was taking me all up and down New York to the record labels, handing out back when you would go to the label and hand out demos just so they can probably
Wow.
throw it in the garbage. Uh, he had me walking up and down the streets of Manhattan. He went with me to I went to audition for American Idol. He was sitting there with me during my audition. And I'm not gonna look, I ain't gonna cry. He passed away like 4 years ago. But that song, he said, okay, you need to learn this song. And I must have sang that song in his living room like 5 or 6 times straight until I got it. And like just to kind of like prepare if I was to sing in front of like for audition, like you need to get that song down pat. So now because he ran me to death with that song, now the song's easy to sing. And we know it's a difficult song, but for me, like it's a comfortable song to sing, but it has
Okay.
kind of like a meaning behind it for me. It's kind of a bittersweet song because I had those memories when I do sing it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was interesting when I looked and I seen that you covered her song. I'm like, for the fan of myself, I think you took on some big shoes there. Like I'm like, wow, Aretha. You usually when a quote unquote younger artist
Mhm.
takes on somebody's song, you'll think maybe they might do a Whitney Houston, you
That's still my
know,
girl, yeah.
yeah,
Whitney.
or they might do
Like a Mariah,
Beyonce,
Beyonce, Jennifer
Mariah
Hudson.
Carey. I, I very rarely hear somebody take on a heavyweight, like Aretha Franklin, and I think that's good that you he put you to the challenge, and he really like I think he foreseen like if I can get her to get this
Mhm.
song, it would be a big hurdle. Like she'll have no problem doing nobody else's cover if she choose to.
Because when you think about it, Aretha is like the mark that the other ladies that you mentioned look up to as well. You know, it what Aretha was it. She was the queen of soul. So um, I feel like if you can not no, not say master, but if you can be comfortable singing a song from somebody like that, then like everybody else, not taking nothing away from anybody else because Whitney, Whitney's the goat. But
Let me ask you, because you brought up Aretha. Well, we talked about Aretha, and
mhm,
then with Whitney, all three of you guys got the gospel background.
right,
Do you think that that helps when you choose to start singing R&B?
yes, I
Mm.
I think gospel music is all about again what moves your spirit. And when you're singing gospel, you learn how to connect with the lyrics of the song that you're delivering, right? Because the goal in gospel is to pretty much in essence bless whoever's listening to you and
Mhm.
to positively affect whoever's listening to you. So the ability to connect with music that you're singing, that is not something that you can teach, really. You know what I mean? That's something I feel like that you learn by doing and by practice. And so I feel like having that gospel background helps me to carry like that into when I'm singing, especially when I'm singing live R&B. Singing
Mm.
live R&B and singing in the studio is two different things because now
Mm,
when you
Dope.
live, the audience is looking at you like, all right, impress me. Like, what you gonna do? And there's no auto tune when you live. Well, sometimes I guess depend. I guess the technology is still available, but there's no auto tune really when you live. You got to just it's either you do or you don't. So I think the church is a good training ground for
I want
for
five.
that.
You gave me Smokey, so it's gonna be six. I need five.
Five what?
Five five artists
Uh huh.
that you would want to work. Not exclude nobody else. Anybody ever see the interview? We ain't saying she don't want to sing with you or don't have the opportunity to work with you. But give me five artists that you would be like, if I get them in the studio, I think we can make some magic happen.
Okay. So I said Smokey. I love Sade. I'm gonna name some recent artists as well. So Smokey, Sade. I like Snow. Um, there's a he's a songwriter, but he's newer as far as an artist goes. Tone Stiff. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of him. Um, Giveon, like even
I'm gonna ask you about what do you like about Giveon?
his tone. Like his tone is so like it catches you right from the beginning. It's so unique. So I think Giveon's tone is what does it for me.
You know what's funny is that when I from a fan perspective and somebody that doesn't sing, when I hear him, I know it's him.
Hmm.
Without music, you could be like, "Well, that's him. That's him."
Yep,
Because,
exactly.
like you said, he has a very unique voice, and like you said, he touches the audience.
Yep,
I
Yeah.
can imagine him live. Live with him would probably be like awesome.
right.
Okay, I
Amazing.
cut you off. I was rude, so
No, no, it's good. You're good. You kind of bought me some time, but who was Ari Lennox? I like her as well. Um, I think that would be my list. And yeah, I think that's my
so you
list.
do so you did a cross. So you got calls doing hypotheticals. You got called as a crossover to a rapper. You got to sing the hook on the rapper song. Name the rapper. Give me three rappers.
It would have been DMX. It
Okay.
would have been DMX number one. um, Ludacris because Ludacris. I feel like people sleep on Ludacris. He makes a lot of like dope records, especially like as a feature artist. It seems like he always makes the record even more so than the main artist. So him is him definitely. maybe like a Andre 3000, you know,
Few
uh,
He's one of
stacks.
he's one of
Three
the top, he's one
Stacks.
of the top five.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. But
Okay.
DMX, that was like I was hurt, man. I was hurt with that one, but I would have definitely loved to work with him.
Let me ask you, and I don't know if this question would be appropriate asking a singer and songwriter.
Uh
What do
huh.
you enjoy more, writing or singing?
Singing,
Really?
singing, and I said it fast, right? Because with songwriting, sometimes there's a lot of pressure with songwriting.
Okay.
Um, because like for my song Innocent, that song is done well, right? So now I'm challenged with making a song that's comparable to that or better than that. And then there's also the frustration sometimes with songwriting because you get a block. Sometimes the words just like you know what you want to say, or but sometimes it just doesn't come to you freely, and it takes
Right.
time. Like you can be writing a song for months because as a songwriter, I refuse to just write. Um, no offense to Cameron, but like Cameron used like ABC 1 2 3. I'm not writing no song. I'm not writing a song like that. So I really, I really want it to have some. I want it to mean something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You got it.
that's my
You
frustration with.
as a songwriter, and I could kind of identify with dealing with King and the poets is you gotta be feeling it's a vibe,
Hmm.
and then to put it on paper, and then to actually, you just can't do it for nothing.
Right. You got to be some kind of inspiration there, or you got to pull from an experience. You got to pull, like for me, um, not I don't want to get too heavy, but after George Floyd was murdered, I'm not sure if you had a chance to listen to my song "Tired," but I wrote that song after Floyd was
I
murdered.
did after George Floyd.
Yeah, and then as I'm writing the song, I'm crying
Mm.
because it was like I was feeling so many things at that time that I couldn't verbalize and I couldn't put it
Yeah.
into words. But as I was writing it down, I was like, oh, this is what I'm feeling. Especially being a mother of two black boys, it really kind of was like, it was a different kind of feel for me,
It's funny that you brought that up because like a friend of mine, he says to me the difference between that murder and what we know that goes on all the time. Yeah, we're accustomed to it, but we actually saw it.
Mm,
The world was at a standstill and we saw it. So that's why its effects have had such a big impact, not only just on us, but the world in general. And
right.
it's interesting because you ask yourself, has it really changed? Or hasn't it changed? Some of us that we from the culture, so to us it's like another day at the office, and
Right.
for
I
for
feel like it was a catalyst for some conversations to begin happening.
Yeah.
Um, but then it was also one of those things where every company had something to say, or every business had a statement to make. Everybody's posting the black square. So it's like how much of it was for show and just to say you were doing it, and how much of it is really trying, like someone trying to affect change and someone trying to make things
yeah,
different.
and
You know,
it definitely resonated with a lot of our women to unfortunately to hear him
call his
fighting
mother.
for his life and calling for his mother.
Right.
That was like
That was
boom.
painful.
It was like a real wake up call for all of us, and shout out to his family, and
Definitely.
Word.
it's an interesting situation. Something else I wanted to ask you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You know it was coming.
I was waiting for
Uh,
you.
which do you feel is a better vibe when you give into an audience? Singing with the music in a live performance or a cappella?
Mm. I will
Yeah.
say what is not a better vibe is singing with a backing track. That's one. We're gonna like singing live with a backing track. No. Singing with There's something about singing with music. I
Mhm.
feel like it's you as a singer. expressing and connecting, right? But
Mhm.
then you also have the musicians who are just as passionate about their instruments, who are
Okay.
also expressing through their instrument, right? And
Okay.
then the both of you doing the same thing at the same time, but in
Mhm.
different ways. That
Yeah.
energy with the live band is crazy. Yeah, there is some times where like some songs would call for like a break in music and it's more effective to kind of do a cappella, but like there's something about that energy matching singer with live band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question on top of that one. Now that you
Yeah.
mentioned that, the instrumental versus the live band,
Right.
like which do you feel more comfortable with?
The live band. And the thing is the instrumental is kind of when you're singing with like a backing track, you're
Yeah.
kind of limited to you don't have much freedom in what you can do because it's the
Okay.
track. The track
Right.
can move and change keys with you and break when you need it to break. It's gonna
Right.
leave you if you don't keep up. You know you got to stick with how the track is moving. So I
Yeah.
feel like the audience doesn't get um, the best representation of what you can do maybe
Mhm.
when you have an
Okay.
instrumental
Yeah.
as
You
opposed to
ever
a band.
you ever sing with a live band and they be terrible?
I, okay, so I will say no, not as a performing R&B, right? But sometimes, like growing up in a church, not everybody is a born musician. So, but again, people they're learning. So there's sometimes it gets a little iffy, but I would say the musicians that I work with have been great. Like I would not. I would rather not sing if I had to sing behind somebody that is not really great at their instrument. Like I can play the piano, right? But I know I'm a better singer than a piano player. So I am never going to go out into the world talking about I'm going to play piano for myself and sing like I'm Alicia Keys. I'm not Alicia Keys. That's not my calling. I can play and tinker around and do things like that, but I'm not on the caliber where I feel like I'm gonna be backing somebody in the band. So I know my limitations.
You,
But
you
I got
sound good though.
a twofold
mm,
question.
yeah.
You walked in the spot, you tore it down. You
Uh-huh.
was in your bag this night. Your voice was right, your energy was right, but the audience didn't respond like you tore it down. Have you had that experience?
Oh, that's all. That's people. I've learned early on. Number one key to performing is don't look at people's faces because if you look at people's faces when you're performing, their face will tell you you suck. Their face will tell you you're trash, go home. But that's just people. They're in their phones, they're talking, they're not attentive. But then you have people that do respond. So I learned to do my part. I learned to connect with the song, deliver the song, and whoever in the audience that I'm supposed to touch at that particular night or that particular moment, that's fine.
Then you
You
got
can't.
then you got the other fold to the question.
What's up?
You preoccupied. You done booked the spot. You want to go, but you ain't really feeling it. You ain't got no energy. You got something going on in your head. You somewhere else, and you feel like you ain't give it your all, but the audience loved you. Explain that experience.
I think that experience more so is when you're feeling not sometimes not as confident in what your performance was. Like you said, there's always somebody or something or someone in the audience they connect with it. Um, as a performer, you're never gonna be 100% all the time. You're gonna, and I feel like it's important to understand that you're gonna have some bad nights. You may slip up and give an off note, but the key is to if for example I didn't deliver like I would have expected to. but the kid, like, the audience, they can hear that, I'm sure, but when they see that you're really feeling it, when you're really like into the music, you're delivering, you putting your heart into it, they still connect. As long as you push through it and you don't stop when you feel like, oh, I messed up. You don't stop in the middle of a song and do nothing crazy like that. You just keep going. Just keep going.
Thing about love.
Uh-huh.
Talk to us. Thing about love.
You don't know a thing about love. That's the song. Um, I write from experience a lot of times, and so that song is basically saying, like, you're claiming that you love me. You are like, it's lip service, right? But we all know it's action. So if you're saying you love somebody, but your actions is showing that you're really not in a place yourself to really understand what that word means or what that word entails and the responsibility of that word. So you can say you love somebody all you want, but if your actions is not lining up, then you might as well just not say nothing.
Mm.
You know. So that's
Let
that.
me let me ask you. Do you It's been a lot of conversation. I happen to be a fan of all genres of music.
Hmm.
A lot of people feel like R&B is over.
Hmm. That's the question of the last decade.
Hmm.
I feel it's not over, right? I feel that the spotlight of R&B, the I'll say the mainstream spotlight is not on the people that are actually still making what you consider R&B. The radio is not playing the people that's really like making R&B. They play a few, but a lot of the songs on the radio, of course, sound kind of the same. So like there's artists out there that are really like legitimate R&B artists, but they're not getting the same. They're not getting the shine because that's not the trend. That's not what's hot right now. So everybody's following the trend. So the radio stations are only going to play the trap stuff or whatever sounds popular. You know.
Yes,
So.
it's crazy because, like you said, terrestrial radio is changed. A
Mhm.
lot of stuff with the streaming, with Spotify, YouTube, everything is different. Um, and it affected, I believe, R&B more than any other genre because um, R&B is cultural.
Mm.
It I would think that I believe that R&B it speaks more to our culture than hip hop, and the reason why I would say that is because nowadays anybody could be a rapper. Everybody can't be an R&B artist.
Right. And then
Because
hip
it's
hop is bleeding into R&B now. It's like it's kind
yes,
of
yes,
merging
and
as well.
in the New York area, once BLS left, it was like, what has happened?
Right. I still listen to BLS. You mean
Yeah,
Kiss? You mean Kiss
yeah.
FM?
Kiss left.
Yeah,
Once
Kiss
Kiss
FM
left,
is
my
gone.
bad.
Yeah,
I've been gone from the area for so long. I forgot which left, but
it's all right.
it's amazing because we grew up where we heard Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. Everything was that logo,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and so many of the local artists, definitely that New Jersey area. New Jersey is very rich when it comes to R&B artists.
Yeah.
And it's like they have to go down south to get noticed now, or go out west to get noticed. It's like
Like
the New
Atlanta is
York
the hot
area kind
spot
of got
now.
oversaturated with artists, so you got to skip town to get noticed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I have a question.
Yes.
That song is so hot, right? And it's dope, innocent. You think there'll be a response to it?
Mm.
Like coming from the male perspective,
Yeah.
I welcome it. Like anybody out there got a response that like they got something to say, please. I would love that. I would
Oh,
love a response. I want to see what y'all got to say.
oh yeah. Well, okay. Well, stay tuned. I'm gonna write a poem to it.
Uh oh.
Uh oh,
Okay.
up
You know what I
there,
mean?
Annie.
Okay.
You know what the title of the song gonna be? Guilty.
Guilty as sin.
Well, Caleya, we really appreciate your time today, and if is it anything else that you want to leave us with?
Um, I'm coming out with new music soon, so please be on the lookout for that. Um, I'm on social media. I put my handle there, my Instagram handle. My Facebook handle is at Caleya Black, but with the number 1 afterwards. So please follow me, engage, check out my song "Innocent" that we're talking about. Check it out. Yeah,
Appreciate
just
you.
definitely keep up with me.
Also, you think there's any way you can give the audience a little taste of what you
That
got?
was the question. That was the question too, King.
I knew that was coming. I was ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best man I've ever known. There's no way I could ever go. Darling, there's no way. No, 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 no way. I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. I don't want to be free. I'm staying. And you're gonna love me, love me, love me. Thank you.
Thank you, cuz. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Woo,
I see you smiling. Smiling.
woo. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining the show.
Appreciate it.
Thank
There's
you.
no one else. There's nothing else to say after that. Just stay on, okay? Don't hang up.
I got you. I'm here.
With that, close the show. Appreciate everybody in the chat joining us. For anybody in the rebroadcast, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out Caleya Black on all social media handles, and be looking forward to some new music coming out shortly.
Yes. Thank you.
The Poetry Corner.